Firstly, Johnny's grown his beard back.
Yeah, it's getting there, it's getting there.
That's actually not bad for a...
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, metal aids.
Take 5. We going? Re-rolling? Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube and episode 5 of our Ferrari 308 restoration. We left you at the end of the last episode where we horribly uncovered a load more extra work inside, behind the front wings. So the decision we have made is to remove the front wings. But before we do that, we're going to finish getting all the seals and the closing panels all done and the bottom of the quarters repaired. So that's kind of wrapped up another section. And then before actually just going ahead and ripping the wings off, we're going to work on getting the bonnet gapping sorted first. Once the bonnet gap is sorted, we can carry out the repairs to the top of the wings and then move on to getting the scuttle replaced and all the dash repairs done.
Right, we've got the new lines running through the sill. We've even got some heat protective tape on here for protecting them from when we weld. So now that that's all in, we're ready to start tacking up this side. The inner sill is now plug welded in place. Here we have the outer sill now essentially tacked in place. We've got 5 plugs along the top, 5 plugs down the bottom, a couple of tacks at each end. And yeah, we've got strength back in this side, which means we can get this back out and then Steve can work on the door for this side. Whee!
Right, this lower panel, I finalised the shape of it, got the drain holes welded in, used our clicker tabs to pin it in position, and it's now tacked in place. So quite a long procedure, going through, tacking it, and then planishing it as we go, just to make sure we get as little distortion as possible, and we keep the shape as much as possible. So.
For tackling the wings and checking basically I've got some repairs to do on the tops of the wings here. I need to get the bonnet sitting right. As you saw before, the gap on the bonnet this side was basically, it was sort of really lifted like this. So I need to get that sorted first. So the first step I've done, because we could feel the bonnet rocking underneath, I've actually removed the rubbers that sit underneath where the bonnet mounts. And as, I don't know if you can particularly see, it's hard to show, but the bonnet is rocking around this area. So what I'm going to have to do is do some shaving on the tops of these inner panels, because they're basically, this sort of area here is holding up the bonnet. I don't know if you can tell from here, but this gap is slightly shorter than the one over on that, slightly shorter than the one over that side. So hopefully just a little bit of shaving on these panels, possibly a bit on these, we'll see. And then hopefully we can get that bonnet sitting down nice. I think the start point is get this sat nicely with the wings, because the wings sit nicely with the doors. So basically we're now working our way forward, but I've got to go all the way forward to come back so we can do some repairs and stuff in here, but we need to make sure everything is set and in the right place before the wings off, otherwise we're going to lose all of our positioning. So I found the immediate culprit area, which is right in the corner here. So the way I actually done this is basically covered the area down here in the engineering blue while it was wet, closed the bonnet, and there's our little witness mark. So that shows me that this area here is what needs trimming. So after a bit of filing and trimming down of this section, we've actually got it now. So the bonnet sits pretty nicely, and with the rubbers on, I have got them off at the moment, but I put the rubbers back on, and there's the rubbers themselves. Once these are, clicking into the latches, the rubbers aren't going to be holding them up any higher, and so the rest of any fitment issues and stuff we have with the bonnet, mainly there's a slight sort of high here in the bonnet, and likewise we've got a couple of low points at the end of each of these swages. So in terms of bonnet fitment now, we're pretty happy with how it is. The rest of it's in tweaking the bonnet itself, which can be done later once the wings are back on, the new scuttle's in. Of this is not actually too bad. Obviously I'll have to clean it up to fully find out, but to about halfway this is pretty good. The other side, however, so we start to get something a bit nasty. So we've got basically just all of this corroded away, a bunch of holes and stuff in the top of the dash panel, but really the nastiness is when you sort of look inside here. So this is part of what I imagine was the cover panel between the wing and the frame. That looks pretty grotty. That's all we need replacing. This is a section connected to the wing as well, and the bottom of this is corroded away. We need to get this in next, and that allows us to basically then fix sort of these three parts together in a position, test the window, then we know if everything's right and we can go ahead and fit this in. So yeah, boom boom, more progress. Now with everything cut out of the way, we can start looking at fitting this up. Just an initial putting in there. It fits okay. There's gonna definitely need some, you can see, sort of like decent-ish gap here. Gets way too close, and then a good gap at that corner again. But I think that is just where this panel's not held up. I'm making good progress with the scuttle panel on the Ferrari. I've also done the repairs to the top of the wing and to the window frame, and then we've also got a bunch of clecos in ready for the scuttle position, so that when all of this gets removed later, everything goes back where we want it. We've got the gaps real nice between the bonnet and the scuttle now, so that's lovely. We've got the window in as a test fit. We've got a little bit of adjustment to make to the end sections here, both sides. This scuttle piece basically is sort of like slightly banana too much at the ends. For whatever reason, you can see it a little bit clearer here. So you see it's like loose and then just comes up super tight. So yeah, they're the last two bits basically of adjustment to make to the scuttle panel. And then we're ready to, basically we'll put a load of clecos all in the return edge of that, hold it in place or give us reference points. Then that can be basically ready for the window to come back out. And then we can make our dash repairs.
They call me Amazing Moustache Man. Firstly, Johnny's grown his beard back.
Yeah, it's getting there, it's getting there. We've now got wing repairs tacked in, pillar repairs tacked in, scuttle panels fitted up how we like, nice gap with the bonnet. Next up is basically making the dash repair section. Yeah, aids, yeah, metal aids. So what we're going to do is essentially just cut this whole piece out like a big triangle. Then we can use that as a template, and it saves us trying to panel beater weld halfway through the panel. So yeah, big progress. Ha-ha! Here we have the dash repair in for the Ferrari. As you saw the process of making it, it was pretty simple, a little bit of tracing of the old piece and then bead rolling the edges over, came out pretty nice. All that's left now is this small section of repair in here basically, and then we're pretty close to being able to rip the wings off and start getting the front off, and you know, now reached the point where all repairs that we've been making with the new skull, the dash and stuff can come out, and it's time to get this first wing off. Can't quite do the other one yet because we're still waiting on doing the bottom of the door skin for this side, so all this needs to stay for now, but that does mean we can do this side.
Take 5, we going, re-rolling. Hey guys, you are back with me and we are discussing bits on the Ferrari 308 once again. You can see Johnny has started major surgery now. That front wing's off after we confirmed all the new scuttle panel arrangement, dash repair, tried the windscreen and everything like that, and it was very, very difficult because of the amount of bodgery that had gone on before, so we really had no clue of how it should fit up to the pillars and that. But also one thing we are touching on now is drain tubes, because this is a sunroof model. Something, if you are restoring or playing around with these, always check your drain tubes. So we had rust coming up the pillar behind here, and it's transferred on the inside here as well, so we're going to have to repair that. Which would indicate that there's been water ingress there, and one of the main things that will come from would be sunroof drain tubes. So we cut these. Well, first we tried the old blow test, sticking compressed air down one side, and nothing came out the other side. So we decided to cut both of them out, and yeah, they're block solid with rust, and this one actually has there's a rivet hole there where someone's had to go riveting something to it, and also there's a big hole in it there. It looks like someone's sent a drill bit through it at some stage. So I don't know when that was done, but it's been like that for some time. So you think about the amount of ingress and damage it would have caused internally. So hence why all this has gone down here. So yes, we're going to replace these drain tubes, whether we make them out of some stainless or we find some mild steel and get them like zinc passivated, just for extra protection internally, because you physically can't get any epoxy paint or anything in there. They can't be made out of aluminium or anything because they've got to be welded to the pillar up here and welded into the sunroof channels. Johnny has done quite a sterling effort so far in digging out the debauchery that was there and trying to figure out how it's meant to be originally. So started reconstructing these bits. There was a kind of mishmash of all sorts that kind of went in here, and there's just been plates stuck on top of plates when it was repaired previously. That's the next stage would be to, because this is obviously a water trap area and there's means for drain off inside there, so it goes into the inner wing, but they've obviously been sealed up, so we need to free off these drainage areas, and the next step would be to reconstruct the actual pillar that goes into the wing. Yeah, it goes. Panel. Yeah, the closing panel for the wing. While the wing's off as well, it gives us a chance to get the inside of the wing blasted and put into epoxy primer as well. See, it's not actually too bad. It's in not bad condition actually, considering its age. It has been off before, and nothing in here has been treated or anything as well, so it gives us opportunity to clean all this up, get all this epoxied as well, to give it the protection it needs. Yes.
So currently making up a cardboard template, got a line of the shape of what the inner wing is, and so we're going to work out how to make this piece. So possibly a little bit of a jump here, but I have made up the enclosing panel. Still have to finish welding this edge here. I have a small section to put on the top, a little backwards return edge, but it's pretty much there. So for fitment in the wing, got it sitting really nicely in there. There you go, here's it on the car. So you see, fits in there really nicely. Really happy with how that piece has turned out. It actually was less tricky than I thought it was going to be. The trickiest bit really is trying to work out, you know, where everything starts and stops, considering this is what I'm working off. Now that I have the cover panel pretty much finished, I thought it was worth fitting all the wing back up, scuttle panel, the bit of the dash, just make sure everything's back in, to check that, you know, this cover panel in here is not pushing the wing out too far or it's not pulled in too far. So yep, everything's good, everything's sitting in the correct place. I have now made the repair to the pillar. I've also done the bottom repair as well, so capping off the bottom of that. As you can see, I've just basically reconfirming everything is sitting exactly as we want. Got the wing and the scuttle back on with the other dash repair over there, so just triple checking everything is as we want. Now making sure we've still got the nice gap down the door opens, doesn't touch, doesn't get too close. So yeah, everything's fitting up really nicely. Just doing the repairs to the front pillar here. Basically cleaned up as much as I can the inside here, coated that in the Noval. We've got the repair section here made.
Right, so this door skin is now on and fully welded. I've not planished it yet because I wanted to hang it and check it. So I've hung it and gapped it up, and it's actually turned out really nicely. I just had to do a bit of filing down the front and back edges. Apart from that, when that's sat in place, all the gaps are really, really nice and consistent. Right, the only issue I do have with this door is when this is level at the bottom here, then we do have a bit of a gap at the top. So this can quite often happen when you're doing restoration repairs, whether there's a bit of discrepancy when the court was done originally, or the wing's slightly off, or more than likely what it is this is the door that had the whole bottom of the frame replaced, and there was chunks missing out the front pillar of the door. So we had to carry out a heap of repairs actually on the door frame itself, which in turn can lead the door to twist. So rather than sitting down and having to cry about it, quite often a bit of brute force will sort it out. So what I'm doing, literally putting a block of wood in there and a bit of heave ho, and just keep doing and repeating until we line up nice. Actually, that's pretty bang on. That's actually not bad for her.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're back with more Ferrari parts. I didn't really film the process of making this because I did the other side. But I made a new closing panel for the left hand of the car. So this, as I showed you on the previous one, slots in here, and it's a bit tricky doing all this one-handed. Slots into the wing here, sits behind this return edge. A little bit of progress here, with this top piece welded in now. Got this one clecoed in position exactly where I want it, all this nicely meeting up. Got the little extra piece in there, it's tacked in place. Everything's all lining up how I want it, so basically going for welding this piece in next. And then fully welding the piece to the dash, weld this in as well. So yeah, we're at a nice point here to get like a big chunk of progress in one go. Right, I've got the little dash section repair made with the little bottom return edge. It's all clamped in place and looks good. Right, I've been working on cleaning up the left hand side. Got this rail all nicely cleaned up now. Pretty happy with how all of this is cleaning up. A lot of that's cleaning up really nicely. Yeah, this is the sort of state that it was all in before, so pretty nasty. This side is slightly worse, but all generally sort of looked a bit like this. Both sides cleaned up, covered in fur tan. So I've got to leave those overnight for that to do its work. Yeah, I've been digging around on the Ferrari a little bit more, cleaning up some areas ready to do all the dash repairs, and a bit hard to see. But there's a bit of a hole in there, so I've got another little repair to make on that, but cleaning up around it, the rest of the metal looks okay, so just got basically a little plate bit to do. But then also, if you remember, the absolutely hideous piece in here that had like just so much weld, so literally pretty much all that gap there was just made up of weld, and it was about, well, you can see how tall it was, so I haven't really ground anywhere above it. So that was just an absolute massive slug of weld for just no reason. Like, it could have just, you know, like what I've done here, just, you know, sort of taken it out. I'm going to make a new bit, because that is dog shit. So, yeah. I have got the new piece made and tacked in. Spot welded the two layers here together first. Just ground it all back so I can check everything runs level and nice, which it does. So yeah, just going to go through in a minute and finish up the welds. So I've got a weld along there, this back edge there, and then yeah, we're pretty much done here.
So I have the wings now back from the blasters. As you can see, we've started fitting up this one and fitting up the front end. Sorry, there is going to be a few gaps in this video because we've not really been on the point. We've just had such a busy month. I myself have not been at work too much this month due to ill health. So keeping the top in the filming has been a bit of a lower priority. So there's some gaps in our video that might not make much sense, but the next episode we will bring you back up to speed. But this wing only turns out does need some repair. So bottom section of the wing here, through there we've got some pretty serious pitting that needs replacing. Johnny's started doing some lip work along here, getting that replaced, ready for this to be fitted back up. But this wing, pretty much there, needed a bit of work on the lips and the return flanges for remounting purposes. But apart from that, that one's pretty good. So we're gonna finish this episode here. So the next stage for us is to finalise all this front end, reattach the wings, commit to fully welding the scuttle, and then we start ripping off the front panel. Stuff welded in, stuff moving forward, stuff being made. Next episode, we'll get a bit more decent footage for you, and yeah, it'll be a juicy one, I think. So anyway, we'll try and get this one wrapped up and released before Christmas. See how we get on, but hopefully we do, so you've got an update on this before Christmas. And well, thanks everyone for the support, continuing to watch our videos. It's a big help, and it really does make these videos worthwhile us doing as well. So really great feedback and comments so far, some constructive and some really positive feedback, nothing really negative so far, which is quite surprising considering that is a Ferrari as well. So yeah, please keep coming, keep commenting, keep sharing, keep viewing, and we'll keep providing you with some videos. Thank you very much, guys. Merry Christmas to everyone, and again, thank you very much for your support.